Welcome to Coffee and Conversation. My name is Honorine, and today I'm with Khloe Henry, who is pursuing a master's in business administration. Khloe, thank you for being with me today.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Let's start with a little introduction.
Okay, well, my name is Chloe. I am pursuing my MBA at FSU. I just completed my IT major over this summer, and I'm I'm figuring things out. It's been a lot more challenging than I initially expected. One, because I've never done a master's program before, and also two, because obviously my undergrad wasn't in business, so I'm like starting to learn all these concepts for the first time, like accounting and finance, real estate. But it's honestly been a very interesting journey. I've learned a lot about myself, who I am as a student, as a person, and just trying to figure it out and get myself to where I really want to be. So it's still a journey.
So you said you learned a lot about yourself. So who are you?
Who am I? I would say I am I'm very flexible. I'm very flexible and I'm I'm resilient. I'll say that because even though I don't completely grasp something or don't even know why I want to grasp it, because I already started, I want to go through and pursue it all the way to the end and figure out what it is. And I think I have my education to thank for that, kind of just like feeding into my curiosity for things and kind of like attaining this knowledge and just finding joy in that. So,
All right. So you went from IT to business. Why?
why? That's honestly a very good question. I think first, the probably the main reason was because I knew I wanted to be at FSU for another year. I had done my undergrad in 3 years, and I felt like my experience or education wasn't like fully completed or wasn't just done. And I wasn't really ready to move on to the next step. So I was just looking at different master's programs that I could do to kind of like enhance my learning. So I saw the master's in business and I thought, why not?
Okay. And I read in your profile that you earned your real estate license on top of your master's, or is that incorporated with the master's?
It was on top. Over the summer when I graduated, I had my degree, and then I also had all these options and different directions that I could go in. And so I knew my mom was in real estate, and I was curious about it. So I was like, I'll just go to the school for real estate and see what it's about. And so I ended up doing that, and like I said earlier, pursuing that to its end, and I got my license in addition to school, and it's been helping. So now my specialization for my master's program is in real estate.
Are you planning on being a real estate agent and have your own practices, and that's why you wanted to do a master in business?
I would say I wouldn't say it worked out very linearly like that, but I think that's exactly where I'm moving towards right now. I'm actually registered with my mom and at her brokerage and kind of helping her, kind of putting people into like apartments and stuff. And last semester, I was actually able to buy a house, which is actually crazy.
Well,
Um,
congrats! That's a big achievement.
Thank you. It's here in Tallahassee, and right now I'm not living in it. I'm staring at my scholarship housing, and I'm like using it for Airbnb. So.
Oh, wow. That's great. So is it something you learn, the fact that, you bought a house and then now you're basically using it as an investment since you're using it as an Airbnb. Is it something you learn at school or more with your mom because that's what she does?
I would say my mom, and initially in the beginning, because she's actually done that before and that's what she's doing now. She makes most of her income from Airbnb and it's able to pay off her mortgage, mortgage on another house, even my mortgage, and pay for her just all of her expenses and stuff. So I was like, I'll do the same thing and follow in her footsteps. And now I'm like learning those principles in school, like you mentioned.
Wow, that's fantastic. At least it makes it, you were saying that it was a challenging program more than you expected. But because you have this end goal, I guess you're learning something that you can use every day through your investment. Okay. And so your IT major, do you still use it or you don't use it anymore?
I don't really use it as much right now. I think I learned, um, I use like more soft skills that I learned from the major, like analytical skills and trying to figure out things. But that actual content matter, I don't use as much. Like I'm not really coding on a day-to-day basis. I'm not really figuring out like IT problems. I don't work under like an IT company or anything like that. It's just something that I have on my resume and something that I know I could do if I ever want to go back to it.
So talking about soft skills, in your profile, you said that a lot of the information helps me grow in soft skills that we should all have as professionals, regardless of the industry. So what are those soft skills that you think everybody should have?
I think it's one is a desire to learn because whatever it is, in whatever area of life, whatever season of life that you're in, I think we should all have that desire to want to grow and to learn and to be the best that we can be. And I think that applies to like education, that applies to just like living life, it applies to everything. And it applies to me right now and just trying to be the best student that I can be right now as I'm figuring everything out in the MBA.
So a desire to learn is for you crucial.
Hmm.
Anything else?
And I wouldn't say like analytical skills, but I would say like the ability to figure things out, right? And to know that you're capable of doing that. And I have education to thank for that in general, just to see how many milestones I've been able to accomplish thus far. I have this like self-confidence in knowing that anything I choose to set my mind to, I can do it. And that's in like any industry and in anything I find interesting. But I really do think that that's helped me just like as a person and like how I go about my daily activities, but also like anything that I like want to do or that I find myself interested in, like painting or knitting or crocheting or something. I'm like, I can do that. I feel very capable at the end of the day.
Okay, that's awesome. So what are those things that you love learning on the side besides school, besides real estate? What are your hobbies and passions?
I would say, well, one thing right now is photography. Um, I have been into like dabbling in photography like for the past 2 years, and I bought two cameras from like the pawn shop. I have like a DSLR where it's just like a digital camera where I can connect it to my phone. And then I also have like a very vintage camera where you like actually develop the film. And then I have a Polaroid camera where it comes out and you shake it. So it's kind of just like exploring all different avenues of photography and also developing my skill. And that's the part where I feel like I want to study more, right? And I was actually able to explore photography a lot because I worked at the Center for Global Engagement at FSU for a while as the social media manager, and I was the photographer for a lot of the events for like coffee hour and for the International Bazaar. And basically what we would do is just take pictures and then edit them in the back room and then post it on like our Facebook or just other platforms that we had. So yeah, photography is a big one.
And what did you like to take photos of?
I like to take photos of I think of people, yes, I do. But like in their candid state, not just like headshots or portraits, but like of people going through life, I guess, and whatever they're feeling, whatever they're doing. I think that's like it captures a very important truth that I want to be able to have for myself. So yeah.
Nice. And what do you like to do on your spare time? Like over the weekend? How do you relax?
How do I relax? Well, today's a perfect example. I just get into the most comfortable clothes possible. I sleep for as absolutely long as I can, and I read. Like now, I'm reading this book called Untethered Soul, and it's so interesting. And I don't know, I feel like I'm learning more about myself and more about like the mind and like psychological things and just this, like the psyche in general. And I still feel like I don't feel like I'm learning like I'm learning like writing notes in school, but I am learning more about myself, and I'm still like I feel like I'm in this never-ending process of learning basically. But yeah, this is my version of relaxing.
Yeah, I also feel like I feel like the if we had a theme about this video, it would be learning.
Yeah.
It really and I think it's great that you keep learning all the time.
Mhm.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years from today?
5 years from today. That's a good question. I honestly, I don't know. I think I'm getting more and more okay each day with like who I am and what like being okay inside of me, that anything that happens outside, I'm okay with as well. So it's like whether that be, in another country or in another state or doing real estate or IT or being a businesswoman, I think it'll just be whatever I'm very passionate about at the time. But yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was great to get to know you better and about everything that you like learning.
Thank you for taking me